Look, I need you to sit with me for a second. I know you are busy. I know you have got things going on. But this one matters and it has a clock on it. So just sit down. Give me 20 minutes. I am not going to throw numbers at you right away. Not yet. Okay, let me ask you something. You were at the pump recently. You watched the numbers on that screen climb. You got to 60 something dollars and you did that thing where you just stood there, holding the nozzle and thought about something completely unrelated to gas. You thought about the fridge. You thought about Thursday. You thought about the grocery run you have been putting off because you already know it is going to sting. And here is what got me about this whole thing. You are not broke. You are not reckless. You just watched gas go from manageable to uncomfortable in about 6 weeks. And somewhere in the back of your head, you know that when gas goes up, everything else follows: the eggs, the chicken, the lettuce that already costs more than it has any right to. But here is what most people do not realize. And this is the part that made me stop and actually pull the data. It does not follow right away. There is a delay. Oil prices and your grocery bill, they are not on the same clock. And that delay, that gap, that is where we are right now. That is the whole reason I am making this video. You have a window. I am going to walk you through what to do with it. By the end of this, you are going to have 5 things. 5 actual moves you can make this week, some of them in the next 10 minutes. That can pull roughly $200 a month off your grocery spending. Before the price wave hits your store, 5 things, real ones. Not the kind where someone tells you to stop buying lattes. Not the kind where someone says eat out less and then just stares at you. Real moves with real numbers behind them. So, let us start the way I have been thinking about this. And this is going to sound a little dramatic, but it actually fits. Is that you are standing in front of an open window, and that window is closing. Not fast, not slamming shut, but inch by inch, week by week. Oil spiked above $100 a barrel in the last couple months. Brent crude settled at $108.23 a barrel on the 26th of April, 2026, according to Reuters. That was $60 back in January. I had to double check that. 60 to 108 in under 4 months. And I know you felt it at the pump, but the grocery store has not fully caught up yet. That is the window. The time between when oil jumps and when your grocery receipt reflects it. A food economist at Michigan State, David Ortega, put it about as plainly as you can. The full effect of higher oil prices on grocery costs can take months. He told CNBC in March 2026 that it is not going to happen overnight. It builds gradually and unevenly. It moves through the supply chain: fuel for the trucks, energy for the refrigeration, fertilizer costs, packaging, layer by layer. A Purdue University analysis from March 2026 found that cost shocks typically take 3 to 6 months to fully reach grocery shelves. And by the time it reaches your shelf, it is already baked in and you cannot undo it. So the question is not whether prices are going up. The USDA already answered that one. Their April 2026 Economic Research Service forecast says food at home prices are climbing 2.4% this year, and that is the middle of their range. The upper end is 4.8%, and certain categories are already way ahead of that. Beef is running 12.1% above last year. Fresh vegetables up 7.5%. The question is what you do with the weeks you have left before the rest catches up. All right, here is where we actually get into it. 5 moves. I am going to take you through each one, and they go from easiest to most involved. The first one takes about 3 minutes. The last one takes a Sunday afternoon. Pick what fits your life, but do not pick 0. The parking lot of a Walmart on a Tuesday evening. A Costco across the highway. An Aldi 2 miles south. 3 stores, 3 different prices for the exact same bag of shredded cheese. Here is the move. Per unit price comparison. Most people skip it because it sounds like homework. It is not. 3 minutes. Pull up the apps on your phone. Walmart, Costco, Aldi. All three have prices listed online now. Look at one thing, the price per ounce, not the sticker price. The sticker price is designed to confuse you. A 5-pound bag of shredded cheese at Costco runs about $2.60 a pound. That same cheese at Walmart is $3.46 a pound. Business Insider ran a comparison this month. 86 cents a pound difference on one item. Multiply that across your weekly list. Someone at Business Insider actually did this. Took 32 grocery items to both stores this month. Compared every single one per unit. Costco came in 25.6% cheaper. Consumer Reports found a similar gap, 21.4%. Wait, actually, let me back up on something. I do not want you to hear go to Costco and buy everything in bulk. That is how you end up with 9 pounds of spinach turning to slime in the back of your crisper drawer. And I should say, I am just working with public numbers here, not giving anyone personal financial advice. The real trick is knowing which specific items have the biggest per unit gap and buying only those at Costco. Cheese, olive oil. Kirkland butter is $20.12 a pound versus $3.23 at Walmart for great value. Snacks, cereal, those are your Costco items. Eggs, small quantity produce, certain niche stuff. Those might actually be cheaper at Walmart or Aldi. 3 minutes on your phone comparing per unit prices on your top 10 items. That is move 1. That is the first thing you shove through the window before it drops another inch. Move 2. And this one, look, I know what you are thinking. Meal prep, Sunday batch cooking. You have heard it 1,000 times. But here is the part that actually surprised me. Hear me out on the numbers. Because the numbers actually say something that most meal prep videos skip right over. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average American household dropped $6,224. On groceries in 2024, that comes out to about $120 a week. But then on top of that, restaurants, delivery, takeout, another $3,945. So the total food bill for an average household is over 10 grand a year. $10,169 on food. Think about your last DoorDash order, not the menu price, the real total. The delivery fee, the service fee, the tip. A $20 meal becomes $35. By the time it hits your doorstep, delivery fees alone run $2 to $6. And the service fee can add another 15% on top of that before you even tip. That same meal made at home, same ingredients, same portions, $12, $14. If you swap 2 delivery orders a week for home cooked, you are saving $40 to $50 a week, $160 to $200 a month. That is move 2. And I get it, Sunday meal prep is not glamorous. It is Tupperware and a cutting board and a podcast. And 3 hours you would rather spend doing literally anything else. But the math does not care about glamorous. The math just sits there. There is a person in Charlotte I want to tell you about. Dual income household. One works in nursing, the other in logistics dispatch. Combined about $89,000 a year. 2 kids in elementary school. They were spending about $170 a week on groceries and another $60 on delivery and takeout. Here is what happened. They sat down one evening and actually pulled up their DoorDash and Uber Eats receipts. From the previous month, not the app summary, the real total line by line. $412 in 1 month on food that arrived in bags on their porch. They did not cut delivery to 0. That is not realistic with 2 working parents and 2 kids who need to eat on a Tuesday when nobody has the energy to cook. They cut it to twice a month. The rest went to Sunday prep. Ground turkey in bulk, rice, frozen vegetables, nothing fancy. Just Tuesday dinner already handled by Sunday night. I am going to be honest. That number, $412 a month on delivery. That stayed with me for a while. That window I keep talking about, this family basically climbed through it. Okay, move 3. This one is a little less obvious: subscription grocery price locking. Amazon Subscribe and Save lets you lock in a price on recurring items. You pick your schedule, every month, every 2 months, whatever. And the price you see when you subscribe is the price you pay until you cancel. 5% off automatically. If you have 5 or more items shipping in the same month, that bumps to 15%. Now, why does this matter more right now than it usually does? Because prices have not fully adjusted yet. If you subscribe today at today's price, and the shelf price goes up in a few months, when the oil cost works through the chain, you are still paying today's number. You are locking the window open on those specific items. Pantry staples, paper goods, canned beans, coffee, especially coffee. The USDA says non-alcoholic beverages are already up 5.2% this year. And a lot of that is coffee. If you drink coffee every day, lock that price in now. Move 4. Seasonal produce. Right now, in April, you are in the sweet spot for asparagus, spinach, strawberries, peas, artichokes, leafy greens. According to the USDA Seasonal Produce Guide, those are all at their cheapest right now because supply is peaking. Fresh fruit prices overall are only up 1% year over year. That is the slowest moving category in the whole USDA forecast. Meanwhile, fresh vegetables are climbing almost 5%. So the play is obvious. Lean into what is in season and cheap right now. Build your meals around those ingredients instead of reaching for whatever looks good. Regardless of timing, you shave $10–15 a week without even noticing. You ever notice how asparagus in April costs about half of what it costs in November? But nobody walks around in November going, "Man, I really wish I had eaten more asparagus back in April." We do not think about produce the way we think about gas prices. But the markup is just quieter. What is your weekly grocery number, by the way? Like the real one. Not the one you think it is, the one on the receipt. I am genuinely curious what people are actually spending right now. Move 5. Freezer stocking. This is the Sunday afternoon one. Beef is up 12% year over year. But, and this is where it gets interesting, poultry is still almost flat, up about 1.5%, according to the USDA. Pork is basically unchanged, up 0.4% for the full year. And here is the one that surprised me. Eggs are actually predicted to drop almost 30% this year because the avian flu situation is stabilizing and production is coming back online. So here is what you do. This week, buy bulk chicken, bulk pork, and extra eggs. The 3 cheapest proteins on the board right now. Portion them out, freeze them. Chicken breasts at Costco run about $2.99 a pound right now. In a few months, when oil costs have fully worked through the supply chain, that same package might be $3.20, $3.40. You will already have 3 months of protein sitting in your freezer at today's price. That is, you stacking boxes inside the window while it is still open. And here is the part that nobody talks about. The USDA upper-end forecast for food-at-home inflation is 4.8%. On an average household grocery spend of $6,200 a year, 4.8% is an extra $298. $298. Actually, no. Let me put that differently. You are not paying $298 more for better food. You are not getting fresher vegetables or thicker steaks or fancier olive oil. You are paying $298 more for the privilege of buying the exact same food a few months later. That is what waiting costs. That is the price of standing still while the window closes. Let me add it all up. Move 1 per unit comparison shopping across 3 stores. Conservatively saves you $30 a week, $120 a month. Move 2, swapping 2 delivery nights a week for home cooked. Saves $40 to $50 a week, call it $160 a month. Move 3. Subscribe and save on 10 recurring pantry items at 15% off. Saves about $25 a month plus locks your price against increases. Move 4. Seasonal produce rotation. Saves 10 to 15 a week, 50 a month. Move 5. Freezer stocking bulk protein at current prices. Saves you the inflation markup for the next several months. Call it 20 to 30 a month in avoided cost increase. Total. If you do all 5 and you do not have to do all 5, pick 2, pick 3. Whatever works, you are looking at somewhere between $200 and $385 a month on the same food, same nutrition, same family fed. That Charlotte family I told you about, the one that cut delivery and started prepping on Sundays. Their combined grocery and delivery spending went from $920 a month to just under $600, $320 a month back in their account. Not at the store, not on somebody's delivery app, in their account. If any of this was useful, and I am going to keep pulling these numbers apart every week, because this oil situation is not slowing down. Stick around. There is more of this coming. The thing we did not get into today is why it costs more, like the actual chain, where your money goes between the oil well and your grocery bag. There are 6 layers in that chain, and every single one of them takes a cut. But that is a different conversation. Open your phone, open the Costco app or the Walmart app or both. Look up the per unit price on the 5 items you buy the most. Just look. You do not even have to buy anything right now. Just look at the number. Then open Amazon, search subscribe, and save. Pick 3 things you buy every month anyway. Lock the price. That is 10 minutes. That is you reaching through the window. It is April. By June, you are going to be standing in the same aisle, looking at the same shelf, and the number is going to be different. And you are either going to be the person who moved first, or the person who stood at the pump, watched the number climb, and waited. $120 a week. That is what the average household spends on groceries right now. By summer, that number has a new ceiling.